Australian charity that's helps like defense and defense family and that kind of stuff, and ex-defense people. So yeah, she just asked a few of us if we wanted to do something. So I ran a manifesting with the moon workshop. So did a beautiful energy clearing and charging and grounding meditation, and then we did a visualization, and yeah, lots of work around our limiting beliefs and releasing those. And yeah, it was really lovely. So, and the women all said they got heaps out of it, so that was really good.
That's so good. That's so
Yeah,
exciting. How fun. Well
yeah,
done.
it was nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to hear more about that as well. I don't feel like I need to go into the nitty-gritty. I'll get more details off you later. Hi, Shannon. Nice to see you. Um, all right. Well, I might get into it. I am going to share my screen with you because it's got notes on it. Share screen. Just getting the hang of all this, guys. I feel like I'm slowly being able to do this without it being so much issue. Alrighty, let's present. So the reason why I decided to run this is because it's one of those times, when you feel like, when you feel like no one's going to be interested in something. You're like, because it becomes sort of second nature to you, if that makes sense. Like you think, oh, it's not that big a deal. And then, when you do share what it is that you realize like people do actually want to know about this, if that makes sense. Like, has anyone found that? Like, sometimes they second guess themselves and go, oh, like no one's going to want to know about this or whatever. And then all of a sudden everyone's asking you about it. So it's sort of like, showing that what you do know is of value. And I know that I tell people that, but sometimes you've got to remember it for yourself. And I literally had so many people reach out around the same time saying, I just like, I have all these things that I want to do and I don't know where to start in terms of starting my own. This is a service-based business that this is going to be based around. And I just don't know where to start. And I feel like that what I'm doing is I talk myself, into a bit of a frenzy, or these people that I was speaking to talk themselves into a bit of a frenzy, and they just overwhelm themselves and then end up doing nothing instead, if that makes sense. So I hopefully this is going to be a very well, it's called Business Basics, right? Sort of the very starting point of a business and a service-based business, and not going into great depth into each thing, but hopefully getting you to the point that if there's something that you're unsure about, you can go and start your own service-based business and at least have some of the hard work done for you. If there's stuff that you're like, hey, I would really love to know more about this in detail, please let us know, because this is awesome for us, like for me and Shannon, or for anyone else that's, in the group that's in business too, who has info that they might want to share. Like we can do one of our little lives, or I call it like a riff off. We could do a riff off on any particular subject. If I talk about something and you just want to go deeper into it, please let me know, because half this stuff, when I started doing this PowerPoint, I'm like, man, I could talk for like an hour on like each one of these particular topics. So please let me know if there's stuff you want to know more about. But of course, as always, if there's questions or anything like that along the way, please just like put your hand up or speak, or pop it in the chat box, because I love it to be like a co-creation. I like it when, we're all involved and we're all chatting. But I don't like it how I can't see you all. I'm trying to make it so that like I can still see if there's comments. But anyway, I'll come back to that. Now, when I was in the PowerPoint, you could all see that, right? Okay. Right now, can you see the PowerPoint, or can you see me? You can see the PowerPoint? Oh, okay, sweet, because I can all see you guys. Okay, cool.
I can see both.
I will. Oh, you can see all of us and the PowerPoint.
No,
Well, I
just
can see you and the PowerPoint.
You and the PowerPoint.
Okay,
Or
cool.
whoever's speaking and the PowerPoint.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Shah has got a sorry, distracted by Charlene and her I don't know, red light. Um she's just turned it off. A red light, what are they called? Mask thingies. I wanted one of those.
Do two jobs, two birds, one
Yeah, why not? Amazing. Mums are so great at multitasking. So let's get straight into this little masterclass. First, I think maybe I will just for a bit of share a little bit of my journey. So I guess I didn't step fully into this space in terms of light work, because this is sort of who it's for. It's aimed towards light workers in business, or service-based businesses. Until 2019, I always had my spiritual side. Always were sort of grew up seeing things and interested in this space, but didn't actually step into and start doing anything in terms of my psychic or mediumship development properly until 2019. I had been to do with small businesses on the side since 2016, since I had my first daughter, because my priorities changed around wanting to be able to have a flexible work. And the best way to do that, I found, was to have my own thing. So I started really working for myself, or as a sole trader, in 2016. If you want to hear the full story, there's a podcast episode on it. I'll post that in the group later, because I don't want to go into the whole thing. But in terms of stepping into light work was around 2020. 2019 was when I started to delve into my abilities, and 2020 was when I started business in this space. But I have been around small businesses for a long time, because my husband, we've been together since we were 18, and he has always worked for himself, but brick and mortar businesses, restaurants, cafes. And I, being his wife, had a lot of to do with behind the scenes of that for a long time. And then more so when my daughter was born, but then decided I wanted to do my own thing. So, but really the past 5 years really was when I've been doing this, in terms of psychic mediumship stuff, intuitive stuff, healing. I used to do healings as well, because I've got my Reiki masters. I don't do that so much anymore. Started teaching in this space really early. And luckily for me, I was able to sort of hit the ground running because of the background that I had already had, and because of my husband's experience as well. So he has helped me along the way, but what he runs is very different to what I run. So he's running a coffee van, and it's a lot different to showing your face every day and creating content and showing up. He shows his face every day, but just not online, just in, customers in general. But for me, really, when I sort of put more of myself into my business was after the passing of my dad. So 2022 was when I decided 100% this is what I am going to do, and I'm going to put my all into it. And that same year was really when I started my podcast. Finally, I started the first version of the Little Psychic School, which was called something different at the time. And when I'm like, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to do all these things, and all those things sort of took off in 2022. And fast forward to now, without going into all the detail, I was able to replace a full-time income working part-time. I honestly probably don't work any more than 20 hours a week, and have been able to build a business around my life and around my children, and do something that honestly lights me up every single day. And if I had the choice, I was just thinking about this before, to work or not work, I would pick work, because I love it that much. And I just want that for everybody else, and for everybody else to feel the sense of purpose and happiness and contentment, and to have the freedom and flexibility that I've been able to create. Not saying that it's been easy the whole entire time. It definitely has had its moments, and there's been lots of ups and downs, but worth it. All 100% worth it. And I'd love to be able to share that with you. So starting with tonight, getting into the very basics of starting your own business. So I don't know if anyone has heard of this term before. Who has heard of the KISS, or the Keep It Simple Stupid terminology? There's a couple of you nodding your head. What I mean by that is, especially if you are just starting out in the beginning, we tend to go, and this is me included, and this is giving myself, my past self, some advice would be not to overcomplicate things, because you go, oh my gosh, like this is so overwhelming. You know, there's all the social media things I've got to do. There's all the website. How am I going to do a website? And I want to do a podcast, and I need to take photos. I need to get professional photos done and all these things. And you kind of go, crap, like that's a lot. But honestly, to begin with, you can start out your business very, very simply and quite successfully. Like I know quite a few people that were hitting 10K months without even a website. So you can do it on simple terms. So to begin with, I would say, let's just pick a few things that you would like to start with and start with that. Actually do those things first rather than going so far into it. So what are the main things that we kind of need to start with? Let me just go back to my PowerPoint because I got out of it to look at you all. I find it really weird that I can't see. Okay. So make a starting point and start to action it. So this is what else I wanted to say. Your plans are going to change. So along the way, you're probably going to find that once you start something and you try it, you actually are going to end up tweaking it. So you feel like, oh, I've got to make sure everything's perfect, or I got to have all my ducks in a row before I can start. It's not true. My advice would be just start, because including services that you create, they're probably going to change, especially in a soul-led business, because you're literally creating from your soul. And if you're evolving and changing, your business is going to evolve and change with you. So if you don't just get started, by the time you actually think you've got everything perfect, you've probably changed your mind and won't want to do that anymore anyway. So don't wait till you feel ready, because you probably aren't ever going to feel 100% completely ready. And I've written here, only need to be one step ahead of someone else to get them through something. You only need to be one step ahead of somebody else to be able to help them through something. So there's so many different, false beliefs and limiting beliefs that we all have to deal with, and that I have dealt with in terms of my clients. But probably one of the more common ones that people get is, am I actually ready to do this? Like, can I teach a class? Because I feel like I don't know enough. Who has been in the position where they feel like, I don't know enough to teach, I don't know enough to read, I don't know enough. There's always like that feeling of I'm not worthy enough, or I don't have enough knowledge to be able to do this. Like, who am I to think I'm going to be able to do this? You are you. You literally only need to be one step ahead of someone else to be able to pull them through it. That, you think, after this qualification, after, I get this, after I get, when I was doing into healings, I thought I needed to get my Reiki masters to be able to do intuitive healings. And then I did this other, I did my Reiki masters, and then I did another big intuitive energy healing program. And do you know what I found? The stuff that I learned, I was already doing it, and it didn't really make any difference to add my certificate to it. And nobody asked me at any point, hey, do you actually have your certificate in healing, intuitive healing? Can you show me your certificate? Not one single person has ever asked me. So I was doing that not because I had to. I was doing it because I didn't feel good enough to be able to do intuitive healings without the certificate. But when I actually did the programs, everything I was doing intuitively was what I learned anyway. So I already knew, but I don't know, I guess it gave me the confidence to be able to do it, and for something to put on my freaking website. It sounds, I put it in because it made me feel good at the time. I literally put it in my front bio, but now, you know what, I'm probably going to take it out. That's amazing if you have your Reiki masters, and it's such a great achievement to have that. But that's not the moral of the story. The moral of the story is you don't necessarily need to have every single certificate to be able to do your work, because we're soul led, we're spirit led. Like, spirit is literally telling you how. It's our own limiting beliefs that are getting in the way. But okay, so when I'm talking about business basics, this is for Australia. Some of the things that you are going to need to get started in your business, that a lot of people get overwhelmed with this. It's actually really quite simple to get started. All you need is an ABN number or your country's equivalent to an ABN number. A business name, if you're going to have one, and you will probably need to register your business name. It's not super expensive. I think it's $99 for the year. But if you're going to use your name, you actually don't need to register it. So I haven't registered a business name, but I have in the past. So it's completely up to you and to what feels good for you. A lot of people like to have a business name because sometimes they don't love to have their name out there. Like there's a lot of people, especially in the Lightwork space, that I know that will just go by their first name and actually have a business name because they still have this corporate life that they don't want anyone to know that they are actually in Lightwork, and they are actually still running quite successful businesses without actually using their full name and sort of, or using an alias, like an alias name. So wherever you're at in your journey, go ahead and do that. The reason why I don't have a business name anymore is because as a spirit-led or soul-led entrepreneur, I changed my business name. I'm not even kidding. I've probably registered about maybe 7 different business names in my time because I kept changing what it is that I do and how it is that I do it. Like you have that many deaths, rebirths in this space that I was like, this has just been a waste of money. And if you go, like literally you could Google if you had my ABN and you Googled it, you could see how many names are probably still there registered under it. I won't even go into them. Some of them are embarrassing. But yeah, so business name, if you would like to have one, where you will need an insurance. So you in a service-based business, you would need public liability and professional indemnity insurance. If anyone wants to know exactly which ones, we have spoken about this in Psychic School Elite, but we're happy to post it into the group if people are like, well, what insurances are you using? Because I know that was a big question inside Psychic School Elite. Okay, so another thing that also overwhelms people is like, oh my gosh, I don't know anything about, how to do my figures and how to keep track of the money that comes in and out. To be honest, you don't need anything else but Excel, or Brooke or Shannon or anyone else who's in this space. You might have another really easy figure tracking, what are they called? Program that you keep track of your ins and outs. So feel free to share that if anyone's got a good one. But if you don't, so some other people have also said, oh, I don't want to start because it's going to affect my Centrelink payments. If you earn under 18K, you don't have to pay anything on tax. So if you're just getting started, a lot of people aren't earning on over 18K anyway. And you don't need, so literally you can do that. You can work and it's just a bonus if you're earning under 18,000. It's Australian dollars. I'm not sure what it is in other countries. And
Can I just clarify something on that?
Yeah.
So just the only thing to be mindful of is if you start invoicing out of your ABN, it's no longer classified as a hobby. Therefore, you will have to pay tax from the get-go.
Like, as in like paying for subcontractors?
So if you are invoicing clients, so if you're running your business and you're taking payments, things like that, but you're not actually creating invoices to provide to clients or customers, then the tax department see it as like a hobby, and therefore they don't really care about it until you're earning over 18,000. But if you are actually invoicing clients for payments and providing invoices to clients, then it's seen very differently.
What about through Calendly? Because I've never had to. If I'd
no, because that's just setting up an appointment booker. Right. But if you're actually providing an invoice to a client to then receive payment back, then it's seen as a business from the start.
Right. So that
Just to
would,
clarify with that,
yeah,
just
okay.
so that if you are like on Centrelink payments or things like that, yeah, if you're just like having someone come over and you're giving them a healing and they, you know, giving you some money or they're putting some money in your bank or whatever, that's a little bit different. It's seen as a hobby. But if you're then sending them an invoice and asking them to then pay you, it's seen as a business
Cool.
in the tax office
That's
eyes.
good. That's good to know. Also, so before obviously the first couple of years, and also my husband's had multiple businesses, I reckon he probably would have been, no one's asked for them, not saying like do that, but just saying from our perspective, I'm pretty sure he would have been sending invoices in some of his other businesses and not being caught. So hopefully, I didn't even know that was a thing. So that's good to know. But I guess if you're using something like Calendly or a booking system, then you don't probably need to worry so much about invoices. But I mean, that's good to know if they're earning under 18K to be wary of invoices. So basically,
It also just depends if you haven't, like if you're doing this on the side, more so, like if you've already got a muggle job or you're doing something else, you can start doing work as a hobby on the side and they're not really interested in it. But if you are doing it on the side of having a muggle job and providing the invoices, it is seen differently.
And yeah,
Yeah.
like Shannon said as well, double check with your accountant because stuff
Yeah.
changes all the time. Like that, even that amount there, that's just a rough estimate because it goes up and down. And in terms of GST as well, you don't need to start adding on GST to your services offerings unless till you're earning over 75K. Thank you, Brooke. Shannon says she uses Excel. Sam uses QuickBooks. I've heard a lot about QuickBooks lately on the Kardashians. I did actually, Sam. Super easy to use and keep track of things. What's Cav Eat, Shannon? Is that another cave
No,
app?
as in caveat, like don't, not please note.
Oh, right. I was
Yeah.
like, is this another app or something?
No,
that
no,
people
a caveat to everything that you're saying. Just
All
double
right.
check with your
Yes, yes, yes,
accountant just to be safe.
Amazing. Right, gotcha. Brooke says she uses QuickBooks as well, using Excel. Yep. Keep. So my husband, he uses still Excel, and I still use Excel. And he's obviously without disclosing how much he earns, he's definitely up there, but he still is on good old Excel. And what else? So someone was actually telling me that Henry, was there anything else anyone wants to share? There's Henry, which is like this new app that everyone's going on about, which you put in like all of your receipts, money amounts, ins and out takings, and it's like it's an app, but it's like an automatic accountant, and it just takes a fee and it does your tax for you like every quarter, which I've heard heaps of people talking about. So, I mean, for those of you that are interested, if you just don't want to do any of it, that might be something to look into. So something else when you're just starting out, you might want to think about getting a business bank account. So for me, that was definitely easy to set up, super easy. You can do it online, or you can just go into your bank and just have a separate bank account for figures only. For business stuff only. So that keeps it all separate. I started my business without a website and just using PayPal and Stripe. So I'm starting a business PayPal account and a business Stripe account. So there are a couple of things you can do. You can take payments through PayPal. You can literally look up like how to create a button for a service amount. So you can do this without a website, because I started out literally just by people direct transferring money into my bank account, and I'm sure have a few of you guys started like that as well. Just asking for money payments or payment direct deposit. Yeah, so there's a few of you nodding. But what Square Up? Yeah, that's awesome. Brooke, my husband, uses that as well. Takes bookings and payments. But if you can set up a business PayPal account, for me, that was sort of life-changing when I didn't have a website yet, because you can literally set up a button on it for a service amount, and you can send this button to somebody else and they click it and it will automatically put the payment through into your PayPal account. And Stripe now has the option to do the same thing. So there are a couple of things that you can use if you're ready to not just do direct transfers but don't want to have a website yet, or you would like to get started and you're currently working on your website. So Some people think, oh, I can't start working or I can't take any bookings because I don't have all the, my website yet, but you can there's definitely ways around it. Booking systems. So something that helped me a lot in the beginning. First, I was taking all my bookings manually and literally just putting it on my calendar and trying to figure it all out. And it was taking up a lot of admin time. So I now use Calendly to take bookings. And again, there's a free version of that. So this is all stuff you can do really low end cost. Without, you know, having to put much money into it. But I pay for the paid version now, and it links up with Zoom as well. So it will automatically create the Zoom link, and you just don't even have to worry about anything. You just put your availability in. It takes the money. It takes PayPal, Stripe. I know there's TidyCal as well, which a lot of people use, and people are giving their here. Sam uses, I don't know how do you say that? How do you say Osuity? Is that it, Sam?
The Acuity scheduling. I'm not
Acuity.
sure. Acuity, I think. I'm not
Acuity.
sure either.
I've heard of that. I've heard of that one as well. And you're currently building a website. So that's a really good example because you've been doing readings for a while now and you don't even have a website yet, which is so cool. And I did that as well. I didn't have a website for a while. You can also buy cheap machines to take card transactions in person. Yeah, that's the Square Up. I've used that before too, Nikki. My husband uses that, so that's cool. I think it was $30 for my
Yeah, they're
Square Up.
good. From Officeworks, I got mine, and it's so easy. And then on the app that's connected to your phone, you can, you know, put services or pricing and products costs in there. It's super easy, and the battery lasts forever.
Yeah. My husband still uses that in every day, like, and it lasts him all day, like hundreds and hundreds of transactions, like 200 transactions a day, and it's just killing it. It's still alive. It's Square Up, so they're good too. Shannon says she's on Insta DMs, me too, and on Facebook. What's it called? Messenger. Sam says, oh yeah, so I forgot already. Asuity links to Stripe as well. And $33 per month links to Zoom as well. Awesome. Fresher is a free one. I've heard of that one as well. A lot of beauticians use that, don't they? Charlene and Shannon for website uses Wix. Yep, and we call it Sum Up. Is that Square Up, Nikki? Is called Sum Up?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think, in the UK we call it Sum Up, or it's called Sum Up.
That's funny, isn't it?
So I didn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Sum Up, Square Up. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something, Shannon? Because you're off mute.
Yeah, so with my Wix website, it's actually got a built-in booking calendar in it as well that links with my Zoom. So if you're looking for a one-stop shop kind of thing, Wix is a good option. If you wait for certain times of the year as well, they do sales where you can pay for 2 years in advance and you can get it like 50% off or whatever. So if you time it right, you could get it at a pretty good cost. Yeah.
Yeah. It's on the next page, which is funny. And that's what I was saying about a website, which is sometimes it's good to get all your kinks and sort of get things working and how you like to work it going first before then investing in a website. And you can get someone to make it for you. So there's quite a few. You guys might have someone who you would like to suggest, or if someone wants to put their hand up, I don't want to say it for them in case they're not interested in doing it.
Are you referring to me?
Other people. I am. Yeah, because I'm like, I don't want to put you in the deep end if you're like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah. So I wouldn't call myself as like some kind of master web designer, but I built Shannon's for her recently. And I would say that my specialty is really working with those people that really want to just start having their first website built that's just really simple and easy to use. And you don't actually, I highly recommend Wix. It's the one that I build all my websites with, but you don't necessarily have to go a full integration. Like Shannon, if you can't afford it, I've set it up for people before whereby I've just created buttons that then link over to Calendly or Square Up or somewhere else to take the booking. So there's really great ways that you can set it up that's really budget friendly, particularly when you're starting out as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Brooke's going to give mine a revamp too, we've been slowly doing it. When I say we, I've been slowly sending her bits and pieces to do. Yeah, she's so good at it, but I wasn't sure if like that was something you wanted everyone to know yet or not. Like I didn't
Yeah,
want
no,
to
I love doing them. I do love
Okay,
building them
cool.
for people and bringing them together. So yeah, if that's something anyone is interested in, definitely
Well,
just sing out.
yeah, and I'll give you a bit of a plug too. I've had different people make my websites in the past, and honestly, probably part of the trickiest thing for me was finding someone who understood the terminology we use and trying to mix that with their SEOs and things like that. And I cannot tell you how much easier it is to work with someone who understands this space and what it is that we do, because it was been really tricky in the past. So yeah, having Brooke who actually gets your services and what it is that you do, that's been the hardest part, is finding someone that gets it, because it's so hard to explain to like a muggle. My website's on WordPress, but that's because that's where somebody else had set it up before. I've also used Squarespace a lot in the past, and that was really easy for a build your own website. But I think also Wix is quite easy to build on your own, as far as
Yeah.
what
Yep.
I
Super
have
easy.
been
Yep.
taught. Yeah, told.
Yeah. I haven't spent a lot of time in Squarespace, but definitely my understanding is it's similar-ish to Wix. They're probably both the places you would start unless you've got a really good understanding of WordPress. I actually find it's super clunky to work in terms of,
WordPress for me is definitely harder than when I had a Squarespace, when I was doing it
yeah.
on my own. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite challenging site, and I feel like you have less flexibility of where you want to place
Yeah,
things.
100%.
So yeah, if you're looking to build one, I would definitely look at either of those two.
Yeah, cool. All right. So social media, who gets overwhelmed by the social media side of things? Probably everyone. Nikki says, I love WordPress. I make them there. That's where you make your website, Nikki, in WordPress.
Yeah, I've always been a WordPress girl, and all the websites I ever build are on WordPress, and just managed to, I don't know whether it's the theme that I choose that enables me to create whatever I like, but if people have an inclination toward WordPress, don't be put off.
I've got a WordPress website, Nikki, and I don't mind it.
No, I love it. I had it taken away from me by a record label once, and I really regretted it. Desperately wanted it back. But yeah, so when I build them for clients, I build them in WordPress.
Awesome. That's really good to hear your perspective too, because that's a good point, which is like, check them out. I think that a lot of them have free trials, right? And you can always see what it is that you resonate with and what you like. For your needs.
They've got so many different themes, and the themes to some degree dictate what you can create. And if you choose the right theme, you can create anything.
Right. So that might be my issue. The person who initially set it up picked the wrong theme.
Yeah, I certainly didn't build it from the start. The other thing I would add too is in terms of just thinking about what you actually need your website for too, because I don't know as much about WordPress, but definitely, Wix has options to add on a store or online courses and those types of things. So I think it's like that forward thinking too about what your needs are when you're picking a website builder as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's a big topic for another day.
Yeah. Because I know WordPress has got those, and so does Squarespace actually, in terms of you can add those add-ons as well. Shannon says if you look on Etsy, you can purchase templates. Yeah, cool. All right, awesome. So in terms of social media, so this is also something that a lot of people get overwhelmed by, is how do I, there's so many of them, which ones do I pick, and do I do all of them? And what do I put on where? This is what I was saying when I was writing this out. I'm like, these could be topics that I could talk about for hours on end anyway. For me, and this is just my opinion, so first of all, yes, you can start your business purely by selling on social media, and I did that for quite a long time before I even started my own website, and I know there's quite a few other people in the same boat. And I would say to avoid overwhelm, pick a platform that you are most drawn to first. and figure out how to do that one, sort of get your head around that one pretty well. And then you can slowly add in the others as you go. So for me, I started out initially more all about Facebook. And then as time's gone on, I definitely prefer Instagram. So most of my content is on Instagram. And it definitely, you can tell that that's where most of my stuff is. And then I will occasionally, probably TikTok now I'm on more than even Facebook. So because just of the difference in the algorithms. But there's stuff like if you've got if you're selling product, you might like Pinterest, you might be into LinkedIn, depending on what it is that you do. But definitely with social media, you can start building, trust and relationships and communities well before you even have put your offerings out there. And I definitely, because people go, I haven't got any services yet. I've got nothing to offer people. I shouldn't start my social media yet because I don't have anything to offer them. I would definitely say that's not true. Before I had services or offerings, I had a Facebook group, which is where, they used to be the thing. They're a bit more tricky at the moment. But in my Facebook group, I, didn't have the guts at the time to share stuff live on Instagram. But because of my little group, I felt safe in it. I was sharing my journey like within spirituality and where I was at, and was very transparent in terms of, I just started my journey. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm learning at the moment. And I would do lives, and I would have Zoom sessions, and we'd had this little community, and I'd do posts in there. And I was just sharing my journey along the way, and then, encouraging people to invite friends in. And I had no idea why I was led to do this. It was very much just an intuitive thing that I'm so glad I followed, because when I actually was ready to start offering services, when I was so honest, like, these are my first readings, who would like to practice, and then I'd practice on people. And then when I started doing paid readings, it was to my community, hey guys, I've started doing paid readings now. Who would like to book one in? It was like, it was instantaneous, because I had already built this relationship, this community that trusted me, that knew what I'd been going through, that knew my journey, and were ready to buy when I was ready to go. And these were people that I am still friends with today, actually. So in my community, my Facebook community, one of the first clients who I connected with is who I wrote my book with. So Kellyanne Norman was one of my first clients. And gosh, if I only knew how that was, oh, I kind of did. I didn't know we were going to do it together, but I knew what she was going to do. I knew she was going to write books and be really successful at doing it. And now she's, I think, up to her 5th publishing contract. But yeah, it's just, if you feel like you've got nothing to share, or you don't have a service, or you can't start, I definitely would say start. And you're like, well, what do people go, well, what am I going to share? Tell them about you, tell them about your journey, tell them why you got into what it is that you're doing, tell them what you're currently learning, tell them the difficulties that you're going through, tell them how you're overcoming these difficulties. There's so many things that you can share with people. And that's, again, another whole huge topic. But yeah, so Brooke also says, consider what generation you're aiming for in terms of platforms. That's definitely true. Nikki's after 12 years, so over social media. Think about what you like to watch others share. Yes, definitely. So, I mean, you guys can share who's got a preferred platform. Let me know. I'm interested to see where you like putting your things. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Nowhere if you're so over social media. Insta. Yeah, let us know if you're something that you prefer and that you like. Yeah, for you Instagrammers. I think that's our generation as well. Nikki, but it doesn't love me anymore. Nikki, you can turn it around. You can turn it around. I know how to revive, but that
do
might.
you? I mean,
Yeah,
that's an interesting conversation to have
it
at
is.
some point, because you said about changing when you change direction with your business. And my account, I've had it for so long, and it's got some followers, that I don't want to kind of lose it. But it was before they did the business and they had all the algorithms. I've had it like forever.
Yeah.
And to try and turn that around when well, basically, because I've had so many different incarnations of Nikki Loy,
Yeah, right.
the
Yeah.
algorithm is totally like, what the fuck?
Yes, and so you've
It
got to
doesn't know
teach
what to do with me
yeah,
anymore.
you've got to teach the algorithm your new audience and who it is that it's searching for, which totally we could do another whole topic on that. I can give you some quick tips. It's called, there's like a Revive, it's like a CPR, a social media CPR. But it's probably I might message you. Oh, you know what? Let me do that riff off on that. That can be my riff off this month.
Okay, reviving your social media accounts.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to know about this? So, because I can do when you feel like you have had moments where your views and stuff go down, and you're finding it hard to reach your set audience. There's quite a few things, and actually, I think Shannon, you'd have some good stuff to share on this too, right? I feel like you've probably got knowledge around this.
Yeah. Who knows?
God,
I've worked with mentors and whatnot around social
same.
media and it depends on what you want to get out of it too, though, Nikki. Like, do you want, because a big thing I'm going to say here is followers don't equal sales. So what do you want that for? Do you want to build the community? Like, think about that, and that'll help you with the rest of it. But yeah, there's definitely ways we can help you get your views back up and things along those lines.
Maybe we should do a social media one, Shan.
Yeah, I put that in the chat. I wrote social media workshop.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Let's
girls.
do that. No worries, because there's lots of different things, but definitely, and that's a huge topic. Another topic, which is followers, don't necessarily equal your sales. It's about engaged followers, not the amount of number of followers. I've had clients that have 400 followers and making 20K months. Because their followers are extremely engaged. And I've literally had people come to me going, with like 5,000 and making nothing, not because they don't know how to accept, they don't know how to, what is the word? Convert their actual followers, or they've got the wrong type of followers. So they've got people that are following them, not for what it is that they do, but for other reasons. So that's totally a huge, awesome social media workshop. Do that at another time. Okay. So yeah, all right. So most people were saying that Instagram was their favorite at the moment, but I guess, like pick whatever, because your energy needs to be behind it. So pick whatever you're drawn to. I know, like, for example, M. Stewicki, so she loves Facebook and most of her business and stuff is from Facebook community. So it doesn't mean you can't do it. And then there's other people in this space, like, what's her name again? Elise Castillo. She's got a huge TikTok following and she gets a lot of her business and readings and stuff from TikTok. So really pick your poison. Pick where you're at. Okay, branding. So this is a fun one. Who feels like they don't know where to start with branding? Who's happy with their branding? Who doesn't know what branding is? What's our feelings on branding? Anyone? I've just rebranded and I do it like probably every 6 months. So you can get someone professional to do your branding. I've had that when I first started because I didn't know where to start. And yeah, so if it's not your thing and you feel like you stick to something for a long amount of time, definitely go and find someone to do it for you. For me, I change it far too often to keep paying somebody. And I actually really like it. Like for myself, I like it, but I understand it's not everybody's thing. I am quite creative, and it's my way of showing my creativity, and it's my way of expressing myself. And when I have paid people in the past, I ended up changing half the stuff they did anyway. So, I just do it all on Canva. So another free Canva, another free computer program. It's an app on your phone. You can get the paid version, which I would actually recommend. It's not that expensive and it's freaking awesome. But does anyone else have anything else they use besides Canva? Nikki says she's also constantly tweaking. She loves it. She builds brands for clients too. So, can people pay you for this, Nikki?
Sorry, I keep pressing the wrong button. Yeah, people do pay me for it. That's what as I'm a creative consultant, that is one of the things that they pay me for is graphic design, website building,
That is so good.
visioneering of their whole business. So
I obviously knew you were an artist, but I didn't realize this is something that you offered. Please post all the details in the group, because this is something that people ask me for all the time.
okay.
Yeah, this is
Cool.
really good to know. That's
Add it to
awesome.
the post thread when Brooke puts up, share your
Yes.
spiritual biz, Nikki, even though it's, you might not think it falls under that category. Plug it anyway.
It does.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll hit you up next time.
No, just put it in a separate post. Like, we're all here to support each other anyway. So don't feel like you got to wait for those posts too. That's just a prompt to remind you that you're allowed to share that stuff in there. As long as it doesn't say quit the little psychic school and then join mine instead. There's enough room for all of us, right? You don't need to quit. We can have them all. That was just a joke, by the way, but like, hopefully people don't do that. Okay, so how to choose your colors or logo? I'll be interested. Those of you that chose your own, how did you do it? Tell me. So there's a couple of ways. So my husband, for example, he did research. So you can do research on what colors work and catch attention, and what colors mean for what it is that you're trying to sell. That's definitely his masculine side when he was choosing branding colors. He literally Googled or looked up like color psychology, and that's a great thing that you can do as well. I, being more spirit led or soul led, literally just chose the colors that I was into at that particular moment, that I was drawn to. But in the past, I have picked colors also based on color psychology or branding psychology. And the amazing thing is, in Canva, there's color palettes you can choose from, a whole bunch of them already there, ready for you to go. There's ready-made templates and logos that you can just, slightly tweak and create them into your own. You can look at other light workers that you love the look of their social media or their branding or their website, and get inspiration from them and create your own version. Shannon says she chose what made her feel at peace. So that's a really good way to pick, because hopefully what you're doing is going to bring people peace or healing. For me, I when I chose so before this, it was my logo was a moth, and that's because I've always been drawn to them. They're a thing that my dad brings through for me. For me, I love them in terms of spirituality, because a moth is drawn to the light. Before that, I think I had a flower. It was like a purple rose. And then the lightning bolt, I just really wanted to pick something that was, I don't know, that was like powerful, like, psychic CEO boss energy. And for me, when I thought of what symbol represented that, for me, it was like a lightning bolt or a lightning strike. Shah says Pinterest. Yes, amazing. I've actually used that before and I forgot about that. Thanks, Charlene. Good for picking color palettes, and then can enter the color codes into Canva and save them under your brand. Yes, perfect. Brooke, so branding is your thing. You're very passionate about branding. Is there anything that you wanted to share as well in terms of?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily my thing. I'm not a graphic designer like Nikki. My thing is probably more just helping, again, like starting businesses get off the ground very basically and simply and cheaply in a way. But all I've really ever done in terms of, helping people just start off, because I feel like this is a place too where people get really stuck and bogged down,
100%.
is a logo and colors and things like that. And I think probably one of the easiest tips is to just go into Canva. It's the one that I use for pretty much everything. And I just look up different logos. Like, you might have a psychic business or a healing business or something, and just start searching some logos. And then it's literally all I've ever done is taken little pieces of various different ones that I like and then created sort of my own thing. You might sort of like an element of one, and so you use that, but then maybe there's some writing style of another one that you like. And so that's really all I've ever done. So yeah, I'm certainly not a graphic designer or anything, but that's all I've ever done really, is to help businesses just get off the ground, is to create that business, that basic logo to begin with, and that basic set of colors that they feel like they've got something to start with and get out there with. And as you say, it's going to evolve and change anyway. So, yeah. And you can, if you create it in Canva and you download it as a transparent file, you can then load it up into the branding section. So when you're creating images and graphics and you want to add your logo, you can literally already have it sitting in there in your branding folder, and you just click on it and it just adds it in as a transparent one.
Yeah. It's so good. There was something else. That's how I've done it as well. In the book is like literally.
But just
taking
bearing in
bits and
mind though that
pieces.
when you do create it from their templates, they initially make them quite small. So when I download them, I actually move the slider along to make it the largest file possible, just to make it a larger file. Otherwise, if you're putting it onto larger graphics, it's going to look all grainy and crappy. So yeah, if you download it as a large file, you can create larger things with it.
Cool. Thank you, Brooke. And I've done similar things in the past too, which is just literally take bits and pieces. So that when I was talking about the flower or the rose that I used to have, was really drawn to the triangle symbol, which I think is air. Is that air in the elements? Don't ask me why, but I just really love the little triangle and I use that. I've had a gypsy woman, and then just popped a moon behind her. I've had a moon. Oh, I had a moon that was upside down at one point, like a half moon. And then when I had the moth, I had the moth with the half moon actually. And I think actually, Shannon, is yours a half moon right now?
Yeah, mine's a moon right now. Yep. And I was going to add to, when you are trying to figure out what your branding is, look at other businesses for inspiration as well. What are you drawn to? What lights you up? So keep that as well. Brooke helped me with that too when we were rebranding mine. She was like, Shan, what other ones do you like? So I sent her a few other brands that I had liked, and they weren't necessarily in the woo-woo space either. But yeah. But yeah, mine's a moon because that, if for anyone who's been following my journey for a while, I'm big on the moon cycles and things along those lines. So had to be incorporated because it felt like a piece of me.
Yeah. I love moons too, but I don't follow the site. I'm literally like looking outside the past couple of days going, oh, it's a full moon. Like, cool. But I've had a moon a couple of times too, just because I'm literally drawn to it. And I like the it's, stands for intuition and like the feminine and all that. So that's why I had been drawn to that in the past too. But yeah, pick what you like. And yeah, I also had been drawn to other branding that wasn't necessarily from the spiritual space either. So it doesn't have to be a light worker. You can literally pick. That's a good point. You can pick from anywhere. Okay, if anyone else didn't have anything to add about branding, offerings. Oh gosh, offerings. All right. So this is another one that is a big time spender. A lot of people spend a lot of time working on their offerings. I don't even know where to start on this. I would say definitely I'll try to keep it as brief as possible because I could talk again on this one in particular for such a long time. But when I first started my services, I spent a long time trying to perfect them before actually running them. And that's similar to what I said before, is like when I actually started running them, there was so much that I was like, I don't like that. I like that, but I like that part, but I don't like that part. And I ended up chopping and changing it anyway so many times. So just start. And now, there's so many different things that you can use to help you, and so many different people in our space that you can actually, go through and look at their offerings for inspiration. If you're completely stuck, you can brainstorm in the little psychic school. You're more than welcome to do that. If you've got ideas, and even in terms of wording, because sometimes you think something makes sense, but it might be a bit hard to read for other people. I started out with offering everything under the sun, so many different offerings. And that's okay because I was trying to figure out where I fit and what I liked and what is my thing, right? So that's totally fine. Whereas now I would probably say have, probably 3 to 5, max, like core offers. I had one like for a while, and that one did really well. So it doesn't really matter. if you're soul led, it's really like about doing what feels right for you. But in terms of my experience, I have found, especially when you're just starting, it is nice to just have that, I call them a popcorn offering or a popcorn service, which is where it's like a smaller price point, just so that people can sort of have a taste test of what it is that you do. If they don't want to invest straight up in like, $100 1 hour service, which really isn't that much, right? But if they don't know you or what it is that you do, sometimes actually where I got a lot of my business from in the beginning were 15-minute audio reads. And not saying that you have to do this, just tailor this to whatever it is that you do. 30-minute audio reads, and then that would lead them into then investing into the bigger offerings later on, which was like just giving them a little taste tester of what it is that I do. And you don't, just because somebody else is another thing I would say, somebody else is doing it and they say that they're a psychic, and you're like, hey, well, I feel like I can't do what they're doing, so therefore I can't call this a psychic reading, or I can't call it a psychic offering. My understanding or my belief around it is that you can create your own version of what a psychic is. There is no one definition or what a medium is. Do it your way. Do it how you want to do it. And it's going to be totally unique to you. So it's really fine to have your own version of, a particular thing. The only thing that I would say is when you are writing up your offerings is make sure that you are communicating what the transformation is. So what I mean by that is how you get your clients from one particular point to the outcome, or what their transformation is. So what I mean by that, so rather than just saying, come to this healing for a 1 hour session of Reiki. So that sounds all well and good, but if you are someone who doesn't really understand what Reiki is, but you've always been led toward or drawn towards it, what's going to tip you over the edge really is the transformation that Reiki could give to you. So for example, it might be, if you're feeling overwhelmed or feeling anxious and you want to come out feeling less stressed, wound down, calm, and a lot lighter. So that is explaining going from one particular space into another place and the transformation that you're going to give that person or what you're providing them, rather than just naming like what it is that you do, mediumship, for example, mediumship reading. So for those of you, even if you are from our space, there are a lot of people that don't realize that mediumship is different from a psychic reading. I actually had, and this is true life experience or true life story, which is I had to actually say on my offerings, so come for communication with passed over spirit to be delivered healing messages from the other side, to help you through your grieving process. So explaining again what the transformation is, by providing, that life after death, or that energy still exists basically. So mediumship is communication with past over spirit, and psychic or a guidance read is reading the energy or guidance around something. So if you're feeling like you're lost, or you're at a crossroads, or you're feeling stuck somewhere in your life and you're feeling like you need that guidance from your spirit team to help you out onto the other side, or to get you through a particular stage in your life, then you would pick a guidance read. Because so many people, including people within our space, didn't actually realize they're two different things. And I had people booking in for a mediumship read, which is fine, but then expecting guidance, or vice versa. And for just me, it doesn't matter now, but in the beginning I needed the heads up. I was like, I need to know if I'm doing a psychic or a mediumship read. Whereas now it doesn't matter, whatever, I'll just flick and do whatever. But at the time, if I was doing mediumship, I needed to know. So that would trigger me at the time. But does anyone have anything they wanted to share around offerings?
To help you guys out, I can let you know that when I first started on Instagram and doing paid readings, I did 20-minute readings for $20. So I started there. So it was this price point, and started off with one thing and then built it up from there. But I really listened to what Spirit was telling me. And as even with price increases, it's like, okay, cool, it's time to start charging a bit more for that service. But in my corporate background, you've got to remember people buy for two reasons. They buy from you because they like you and they resonate with you, but they also want to know what's in it for them. So WIFM is the acronym, if you guys want to remember that. So when you're writing things up for your services, people really want to know, because they're literally investing in this time. What's in it for them? What are they going to get as part of that? So, but yes, that's my two things. Start small, start where you feel where it's comfortable for you, and then build it up from there. I now charge a lot more than $20. So but yeah, and I've just gone up from there. And when I write on my website, thanks to Brooke who helped me with that, but I still had to write what was in it for them. What was I offering? What were you going to get after your 30 minutes with me or your hour with me? And I keep my offerings pretty simple because that works for me and my lifestyle. I don't have what have I got, Brooke? 3 main ones realistically. Yeah, three main offerings. So, and I keep it pretty simple like that because that's what works in for my lifestyle.
Yeah, awesome. And that's really what you said, which is what's in it for them, which is the transformation, right? So what they're
Yep.
getting out of it, and transfer that to your content too. So if you're going to share on social media, people think, oh, I've posted something once and no one signed up for it, or I've posted twice. Honestly, social media is, people need to consume something like up to 12 times before they literally will hold that into their brain. So when it says, I think I wrote rinse and repeat, or like repeat or something, or repeat, you really will feel like you are repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating what it is that you do, and you'll still have people go like, so my book, for example, has been in the process for 3 years. There are still people who have been in my space for 3 years that are like, oh my God, have you got a book coming out? Do you know how many posts, how many stories, how many whatever podcast episodes mention the book? And they still don't know. So, because people don't see all of your content. Do you know it's like 10% of your social media followers actually see what it is that you post? So you've got to keep repeating yourself, so repeating what your transformation is, repeating what it is that you do or what you offer can change, or what's in it for them is like another way of wording it, and what Shannon said. So you've just got to keep repeating it. And you said you have 3 core offerings. I think when I was doing my readings, mine was down to 1, and it was 1 hour. So I started out with 15-minute audios, 30-minute audios, then it went to 45-minute readings, and I offered an hour reading, and then I had an hour and a half reading and healing session, and then it just went to 1 hour, because for me over time I found that was my sweet spot. But do whatever feels right for you. If you're going to offer courses, programs, teaching, that is a whole nother topic. That might be, if that's your thing and you want to teach and you want to start doing classes, because that's something that I'm working on right now, is getting all these baseline courses or offerings, and then to be able to scale and build on top of those. I've got the courses and I know what's going to be run, but then building the actual product suite, or what you would call a product suite, takes time. Bye, Nikki. So that's probably a whole nother topic if you want me to go, or us to go into teachings, communities. I'm literally talking right now about, readings, healings, whatever it is that service-based offerings, whatever it is that you've got to offer. But yeah, did anyone have any questions about readings? So pricing was a thing as well. People get caught up on pricing a lot. Spirit probably is going to tell you something a lot higher than what you're thinking in your head. So that happens quite often. But I would say do what feels energetically right for you, because if you have someone telling you should be charging this amount, but you're not there yet in terms of your own belief system, you're still feeling ick around it, like, oh, I can't charge that much. And I totally get it, because like Shannon said, mine started out I think at $54 or $55 for an hour. And I slowly worked my way up, but that's as I worked through my own belief system. If someone's telling you to charge a certain amount, if Spirit's telling you to charge a certain amount, but you're still recoiling inside at the thought of that, you're not going to get energetically behind selling that yourself. So you might meet Spirit halfway, or like, 3/4 of the way or whatever, but you'll be able to build on that. So just do what feels right for you, because otherwise your energy is gonna, your energy, I really do believe, is what sells. And if you're doing posts and you're like, oh, I can't, post because I don't feel worthy of that amount just yet, that's okay. Just do what you're super excited about, what feels right for you. And then you'll be able to energetically get behind that amount as well.
Yeah, because that's where I'm at too.
Yes.
Because somebody said you need to be charging more.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And then a lady booked in with me tonight, and I only charged $8 more.
Oh, Sarah.
So I've gone to 88 because I feel like I'm drawn to the 88.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, because somebody said to me, you need to be charging over $100, but I
Yep.
just can't go
You're just
there.
not there yet. I get it. Yeah.
Oh.
Totally get it.
Yeah.
And you will get there.
Yeah.
You will get there, but there's no point, like, and I've done that in the past as well. Someone said you need to do a big program, Spirit saying you need to do a big program, which maybe they were, but I wasn't there yet. And charging that large amount, I didn't sell it, right? Because I was just like, oh, like,
I know.
it just didn't feel right. So
and that's the thing. And I just feel as well, like all the readings that I have been getting and doing now are all through recommendations. And that's I just amazing. Want to just like build up that, and just obviously, so I think I'm going to stick with the $88.
Yeah. And if you still feel good with that amount and you're excited by that amount, then that's so fine.
Yeah.
Do that. That's awesome. And I so get it. And also the thing is, you'll know when you need to put your prices up. And this is something that I've learned the hard way, is you'll start to feel drained. So when you're no longer excited and you're feeling drained, I would generally know then that it's time to put my prices up. And it's so funny because then you show up in a different way. Like I actually, when my prices went up, when I was ready to do it, because I knew, because I felt drained and I wasn't excited by it, that when I put my prices up, all of a sudden I'm channeling messages like I've never done before, because I'm showing up at that energy, because I was ready to meet it there, if that makes sense. Like,
100%.
I actually improved too.
Yeah. Like I get very excited when I get bookings, so I'm happy to do that. So
so you
because I feel like that's what people want too, and you gotta be mindful on that. But I'm just very happy that I can do that.
Yeah, and that's great. If you still feel really pumped and you're still really energized by $88, that's amazing. Go for that. Go for 88. You've got to be behind it.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you.
No, thank you. Did you want to say something too, Shannon?
I did, and I've totally lost it now. I got distracted chatting in the chat instead. That was it. So when I first was pricing myself, and like I said, I've increased it over the years, there was something someone said to me that stuck that made me feel a lot better about it. And it was that money is a form of energy, right? And so that when you were doing a reading, you're expelling energy to be able to do that reading. So to keep the energetic balance, then paying you for your reading and having it at the right level is that energetic exchange. And that helped me a lot too. It also, I can tell you, when I started charging for readings after doing, lots of practice and whatnot, my paid readings are actually better than my free readings, because I was like, oh my gosh, this person's actually invested to come in here and have a reading with me. So it actually helped me elevate what I was doing. But knowing that it was this energetic exchange, it made me feel a lot more comfortable with what I was charging.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, definitely. Sorry, I don't know if I spoke over someone then. I wasn't meaning to cut you off, Shannon. The other thing I was going to say as well, sometimes there's people that are at the point where they actually are still recoiling at the feeling of charging someone full stop. So I know that there's some people who are at that point now, or are watching this on replay, that are going, I still don't feel like I can charge. And that's okay. But exactly what Shannon said, it's an energy exchange. Do it in exchange for a testimonial or an exchange for a Google review. So that's another good thing later on down the track, is setting up a Google profile. For me, that's gotten me lots of business, is because I've got good Google reviews. And the more better Google reviews you have, the higher you'll pop up when people Google, like, psychic or intuitive or medium. And they're actually really simple to set up a Google profile. You don't need a website either to set one up. And you could do an exchange for that. You can do an exchange for service swaps is another thing that you can do, or feedback, whatever you like. But in exchange for a service, if you're not ready just yet to charge, is fine too. And in the beginning as well, I think I might already have this somewhere else in this PowerPoint. But what I wanted to say was that my free content actually got me more money than anything else. And I'll explain that in a minute. I'm just going to read these comments. Charlene said, I've said my readings are intuitively led, so it could be psychic guidance, mediumship, tarot, but I feel like that helped take the pressure off me. Amazing. And that's, yeah, we had that discussion, Charlene. And that's a really good thing to share, which is she's not actually labeling what it is. It depends on what spirit tells her in that particular time when she does her offering. So that's a really good point too. Mark says 3-tier system or packaging a few sessions. Yes, that's a really good point too, Mark. I had package sessions in the beginning too. And I still do actually. So I've taken it down. My one-on-one mentoring was also in packages as well. So that's really good to share. Nikki's off. Bye, Nikki. Samantha said yes, when she increased her prices she had more bookings. So I have also found that when it was time to increase, and you'll energetically feel it, Sarah, when it is the right time. But then when I listened to that energy exchange instead of my head, which was like, oh no, you can't put that price up, but then my energy was telling me otherwise because I was feeling drained and not excited by readings. And I had that limiting belief that if I put my prices up, no one is going to book in. Actually, every time I put my prices up, more people booked in. So I think you do get rewarded for, actually working on yourself. But yeah, you got to feel ready. So that's right. You definitely have to feel ready. Thanks, Shona. Okay, cool. Okay. All right. We're nearly done. Sorry, guys. Another 15 minutes. Okay, so this is what I wanted to talk about before. So in terms of I was at the beginning, the hardest part, right, is getting your work out there, is getting people to know that what it is that you do, is for people to come and find you. So when I was saying, like, at the beginning, I did a lot of sort of free stuff. What I mean by that is, and this is when you're up to it and you feel confident to do it, right? But how I have created the community and engaged, I guess, clients and followers and things is from content. So at the beginning, I did a lot of jumped on lives and did card readings. Like, hey guys, jump on and I'll pull you a card, or pull a card for the collective. And nearly every single time I jumped on, it might have only been for 15 minutes. I would do a live or a Facebook live, or upload a video of a mini card reading, or even if someone gave me permission, I would record that reading if obviously with their permission, and then upload that. I would make a sale from it. So nearly every time, because you can tell people. So when it says show, don't tell, you can tell people that you create these transformations in other people. You can tell people how powerful your work is. You can tell people how amazing it is what you do, and the healing that you offer and the guidance that you provide. But nothing is going to move your stuff faster than them actually seeing you in action. Like showing them that what it is that you do, and whether or not they're going to be drawn to you, and how it is that you do it. So someone could watch one of my videos or listen to my podcast, in the first 5 minutes go, I do not resonate with this person, switch off, done. That's fine. Like, because you're not going to be for everyone, and we can't be for everyone. But in the good side of that is someone can listen to 5 minutes or watch you for 5 minutes. And I've had people then go onto my podcast, binge like 8 hours worth and then come back. I've never even met the person or seen them in my space at all once, and go through and purchase like literally thousands of dollars worth of services. And I've had not to do very much work at all, like with this, not even any customer service, which, it's not about the money, it's about the impact that I'm making. But in the beginning, getting myself out there free masterclasses, workshops. You might do it in exchange for, because I would love to teach. Not everyone loves to teach, so that might not be for you. It might be readings, it might be in-person events, collaborations. Get yourself out there on other people's things, like collaborate with each other. This is what the Little Psychic School is for as well. Me and Shannon, like, how many people have you got in your space? How many people do I have in my space from our collaboration, Shannon?
Oh, heaps. And I know that every time we've done a podcast together or jumped on together, I get bookings, you get bookings. I know people that have booked in with both of us as well.
Yeah, find people to reach out to. And you might, if sometimes you don't have the confidence to do something on your own, and I know this is quite a lot of you might be wanting to run a women's circle, a live class. You might be drawn to do something, but you feel I'm not quite there yet on my own. But guess what? When you have somebody else with you, it's not as scary, is it? So it's not only a way of, like collaborating and mixing audiences, it's also a way of getting yourself out of your comfort zone and gaining that confidence. Collaborations are the best. My first business was actually called Community Collabs, and it was around collaborating with other small businesses, and it's something that I love to do. But and the other thing, if you're going to jump and collaborate and do freebies or so, like content, whether it be posts, sharing your knowledge in Facebook groups, live readings, whatever it is that you feel called to, you don't forget to actually sell what it is that you do. And this is something that feels so cringeworthy to so many people. But for me, it's about reframing. It's actually customer service, because I actually get frustrated if someone jumps on and I love them, right? Love their energy, love what they were all about, love what they just taught me. And then they go, okay, thank you. And they're so nervous they jump off. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, what do you do? Where can I find you? Like, what are the things to actually customer service, just to talk about what it is that you do? And don't presume that everybody knows, because, like today I went to, when I was doing this masterclass, I was like, oh, I should talk about like a little bit of my background or my experience. And then in my head went, oh, your Little Psychic School, they wouldn't be here if they didn't know. But then I'm like, no, hang on a minute. No, they don't. Not everyone knows, all these details, about me. So I'm going to talk about it again. It's all about repeating. Yeah, did anyone have anything they wanted to share or talk about? Oh, yeah, hang on. So Samantha said you could even collaborate with non-light workers. Yes, great point. I did that with a friend who runs a vegan business for Women's Day, and I gained more awareness, and someone signed up for my workshops. That's so good, and such a great point. That's so true. I collaborated a lot with my friend Jasmine, who runs the Pole Room in Melbourne. She owns like 6 of them. It's a dance studio. Do you know how many clients I have from the Pole Room that are still inside the Little Psychic School now? Those of you who might know Celeste, Sarah, Liz, Dwyer, these are all people from the Pole Room. It's like pole, aerial fitness. So many amazing people in my space from the Pole Room. So that's a really great thing to share. Thank you so much, Sam. Okay. Anyone else have anything they want to share? I'm just having a quick look here. Oh, yeah, cool. I'm nearly done. Woohoo. This is not because I don't love spending time with you. It's because I'm mindful of your time. So lasty one, be you, show you. So authenticity, being authentic to who you are. This is the hardest and one of the most trickiest things, but also one of the most important. And not saying you can't do it without this. There are different types of businesses where you do not need to show who you are, and there are people in this space, I've seen people do it, who have gotten away with not really showing their face and still creating a successful Lightworker business through word of mouth mainly, because they, and they did a lot of freebies and stuff to get people in their space to begin with. And when you're doing freebies too, stuff does spread through word of mouth if, you're not confident enough to charge. But obviously if you are, charge. I'm just trying to meet you where you're at. But in terms of being you and showing yourself, your soulmate clients, or who it is that is supposed to be working with you, is not going to be able to find you if you are not showing who you are. And there are people that are already there, already in your space, who you're supposed to work with them, right? Like it's already you already have written soul contracts that you're the person to help them through something, but they're not going to be able to find you if you're hiding or you're too afraid to show your face. And for me, and this is one of the scariest things, is coming out and showing your face. And afraid of being seen is such a huge part, a huge thing that many of us work through in many different layers. Like there's still so many parts of this that I work through all the time. But obviously, like we were mentioning before, you just need to be one step ahead of somebody else to be able to help them through it. When someone says, hey, I've had this really amazing, reading from someone, right? The first thing I do when I look at their Instagram is try and find photos of them. Because you being intuitive, how much do you pick up from looking at someone's photo, just from their photo or just from a short video? You might want to see them speak. Sometimes I like to see them speak as well. And you can instantly go, yes, no, maybe, I don't know. But you will know pretty quickly just by looking at them. So if you're not showing your face, which I get that as well, it's just going to take a bit longer. It might be a little bit harder for your people to find you. And it's going to be the fastest way for you to gain clients, really, and sharing your story, because no one else has your story. And there's 10,000 people that do the same thing that you do or that I do, but no one can do it like you. No one has your unique spin. No one has your unique abilities. No one has your exact story. And that is where the power is being you, or being authentically you, and sharing that with other people. No one is like, there's a specific person for you, and there's specific clients for you. And no matter how many people do, it is the same thing that we do. You're going to be drawn to someone in particular because of who they are, or because of their story, or because something that they said has resonated with you. So like, how did you get here, right? Even those of you that are in my space, like, what did you see? What did you hear that led you here? And, other people that I've connected with and had readings with, I've seen your content, I've seen your face, and that's why. But, I do understand as well, it's one foot baby step after the other. Of how to like start to get yourself out there. I didn't just start all of a sudden being confident to run a class or do a podcast or do a live. It was tiny little steps, and I would push myself out of my comfort zone just a little bit. So I started out by taking photos, because first I thought, how am I going to get these professional photos done? You don't need to start with professional photos. This is the first time I've had professional photos done. I started with my phone and put it on record. So took video, and then you feel like an idiot. You're not gonna, I did not feel like very confident, but I just moved myself around in different poses, and then went through the video very slowly and screenshot what I was comfortable with. And that's how I did my first lot of photos. And it's like, it's scary as hell. I totally get it, but this is how people will be drawn to you, because of you and because of your energy. And you can pick up so much energy from a photo. If you need to use a filter to feel confident, if you need to have your dog in the photo with you to feel better, like you're not being an idiot, just sitting there smiling, then do that. Do you know how many pictures at the beginning I had with my dog? Oh my God, just because I didn't feel good, like, being on my own. Does anyone else have any other tips here in regards to how to get themselves out there, or take photos of themselves? You can use Lightroom to edit now. Like, that's a pretty good app. Even Canva's got amazing filters. Has anyone got anything they want to share? Or like, what gives you the confidence to get out in front of the camera? Sam, I've seen you in front of the camera. Charlene, I've seen you recently, and I've been cheering you on because I've seen you showing your face. And I'm like, yes, woman. Shannon, what do you do?
Me, I came out the womb confident, so I'm probably not the best example. I'm a typical Leo kind of energy, so mum was really worried I would get taken by a stranger, because I used to go up to people and go, hi, I'm Shannon. But in saying that, in my job I have to be on camera all the time. I have to film content, so for me it was that. But it was slowly building up what I needed as well, the ring lights, the microphones and whatnot. But I just simply started with my phone as well. My main profile professional photo was me sitting at my dining table taking a selfie. And that was my photo for some time, because I'm like, oh yeah, cool, the lighting's all right here, my hair looks good because I've just been at the hairdressers. And that was my branding photo for a really long time. So I'm going to say do what you feel comfortable with. Start somewhere, but I'm going to agree, if I go onto Instagram and I can't see your face and it's a whole feed of just cards and whatnot, and I can't get a feel for who you are, I'm not going to follow you. Like, I'm going to be straight up, I'm not going to follow you. So I see a lot of accounts that follow me and I look back and go, oh, who's this? And it's all cards, or it's like pictures of scenery or whatever. And like, but I don't see them. I'm like, sorry, I've got no clue who you are. So I'm not following you back. So I relate to a lot of people online if I can see them and I can get a feel for them, even if it's a still photo and then you do a voiceover. Like, you don't have to be, face to camera and do those pieces. First of all, if you're not confident, film something else, but then do a voiceover so I can at least hear your voice and understand a little bit who you are. But honestly, I want to see your beautiful faces so that I can, relate to that. And I've seen a few of you starting to really step up in that space, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, and you don't have to be confident first up. I remember my first, it was pre-recorded because I wasn't confident to go live first, and I was crapping myself. My teeth were so dry. I was so nervous. I still do speak fast, but I spoke way faster. I remember rewatching it and going, oh my gosh, it's almost inaudible. My voice was shaking. And I've got to find, oh my God, I've got to find it because I've got it somewhere, and I'll share it with you guys, because it's just, you don't have to, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to be complete. You're not just going to step out there and, unless you're Shannon, and be completely confident straight up. And baby steps as well. Like, I had to pre-record it and I practiced it and I wrote it out because that's what made me feel confident back then. Now I don't, it's okay. I can allow spirit to take over. I can speak and I know just what needs to come out. But I didn't start there. Just do if you're not comfortable with talking yet, you might just want to do photos, just like what Shannon said, just have a few photos out and written posts. Just, do whatever you feel comfortable with. You might need to get comfortable first with posting just pictures of cards, but written posts. And then eventually you might be okay to put your face out there. But I will agree that when I'm going to book with someone, I look for their photo and I look at the website and I try to find them. And if I can't find you, I feel like I can't connect with you. So I'll probably go to somebody else who I can see and feel their vibe, because you can feel so much from a photo, feel so much from that energy, from a video, from hearing their voice. But that's just my opinion. Like I said, I have seen people do it. It's just taken them a bit longer. You can do it. But you all are beautiful, so you should be sharing your face anyways.
I was just going to add one thing too that I was just thinking of, just like in terms of when you start putting yourself out there and stuff, is I don't know if anyone's heard of Jenna Kutcher, but she's all about building a brand and like all of that kind of stuff. And what she really teaches is that you don't always have to be talking about what you do and how you change people either. Like, people want to know who you are and what you're into. And, I know I watched a masterclass of hers once, and she talked about how she used to be obsessed with mac and cheese. And so she used to talk about mac and cheese on her front line, and that she gained a whole heap of people because people just loved mac and cheese. So I think it's just a reminder that we don't always have to be talking about our businesses and what we do, and whether or not we're running a business based on a business name. So that's the brand, or if we're the particular brand, we're always the face behind the brand. And I think people want to know the boring, mundane kind of stuff too. I'm always reminding other clients of this that I've worked with through VA work. But, people want to see the behind the scenes stuff. It's just what people do. Like, people are curious about your life and what you do, and who you are as a person, without always talking about the stuff that you do. So Jenna Kutcher talks about having like even 3 or 4 just things that you're really into right now. Could be like travel, you love traveling, could be coffee, could be anything. But talking about those things on your socials as well. as talking about your business and what you do and how you help people.
That's a really good point. Thank you so much for sharing that, Brooke, because it's so funny you mentioned that. One of my most recent clients who, again, someone that just popped into my space that had been consuming stuff that I didn't realize. She said she was drawn to me over other light workers because she wants to step into this space as well. She's not there yet because of my love of trash TV and reality TV. So me and Shannon, it's something we bond over as well, is the Real Housewives, Vanderpump Rules, just watching crap. And she literally said, I picked you because that's what I like to watch too. So
because I think people want to know that you're a real person.
Yeah.
They want to know that you're real, and they want to know that you're just as flawed as they are, in all honesty. That's what most people want. If we are always putting ourselves out there looking like we're the person that knows things or whatever, and trying to come across in that sense, people are missing that vulnerable side of you where, you know, you're kind of just as messed up as they are, or, you know, like they can relate to you. Like people want to relate to people somehow. Like
people want to relate to people. Yeah,
that's right. It's
like
your human
100%.
nature. It's a natural thing that we do. We want to be able to connect and relate to someone somehow. So if people can see all of that other stuff about you, even the photo with your dog, it might have been what made you feel safe. But at the time, people go, oh, what a cute dog. Like, I love that dog.
People do love an animal shot.
Yeah. And then they might start asking you questions, and it creates that conversation, which is that starting point too.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Brooke. That is such a good point and a good note to end on, I think. Charlene said, in social media, Zoom, what can you also do ideas on what to post about, please? Ah, yes, 100%. Yeah, so I started.
Charlene, use ChatGPT, my friend. If you are lost on, you know, please act as my social media content manager. This is my niche. This is who I am. And ChatGPT, if you sign up for it, starts to learn who you are. And I know, like,
yeah, we've spoken.
But, like, you know, pop it in there. Give me some stuff to I can't tell you the amounts of reels I've made based off me chucking something in ChatGPT, because I'm like, the creative juices aren't flowing today. And I've gone, please help me come up with a post idea, and it will actually write it out scene by scene what I need to do. And I'll be like,
crazy.
Yeah.
Just remember to put your own energy into it.
Yeah,
though.
totally.
Yeah.
Read some stuff and go, not doing that.
You've 100% got to vibe with it as well. Like, you've got to be like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted to say, but better, because, you know, you can pick up energy from these posts. But this is a part that I started writing about, was content. And then I was like, dude, this is another workshop. So thank you. We will also add that to the social media workshop. But your story, Charlene, like, I know, like, part of your story, even just start sharing like some of that, like how you got into this and the stuff that you've recently worked through. Like, I want to hear that. That story is so impressive and so amazing. And
what's the story?
Oh my God. Okay. I don't want to share it here in case, like, you don't want to share parts of it. Am I allowed to, or do you want me to tell you after?
Well, you're telling me to put it on social media, so you can.
Well, I don't know what parts you're comfortable with sharing, but even with just what you worked through recently, you know how you went into like that big hibernation mode, and like you literally just didn't do anything and couldn't talk to anyone, couldn't even like socialize for that amount of time. And then you came out and you were just like guns blazing and just knew what you had to do. And you've been like bang, bang, bang with everything since. And your background, like your business background, like what you've worked in before, like people want to know about that too, and how you've been into, like, got it into this space, and your natural abilities and what happens to you. Even the stuff that you're telling me about your conversations with your guides, like that, people want to hear that stuff. That's super interesting to people who are not in this space, or for people who would want to get readings from you. I would want to get a reading from you. I do want to get a reading from you, even from the stuff that you shared about your connection with your team. Like, that's insane.
Okay.
Like, you think your story is normal.
But I feel like Brooke had lots of good stuff, which I couldn't think of, because I keep feeling like I need to share videos, because when I do a story, people will reply and be like, can you do more talking? And I'm like, what about though?
Do you know, you did a really great story the other day. I saw you and you were literally out for a walk, and you're like, I haven't been out for a walk for ages, so I'm just getting out and it's drizzling rain, and, you know, and then you're just talking about how I've just changed up some of my offerings. And so really you were just walking along, having a chat with people, and that was just engaging in itself. Like, you know, it was just simple. Like, I think this is one of the hugest problems is we do end up all overthinking it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, maybe you love gardening, go outside and be like, hey, check out my basil. It's growing amazingly. Like, I've never been able to successfully grow it before, but now look at it. Like,
I did a series of stories. I'd bought an ornament for our garden. It was a stormtrooper, and I'm like, how many days can I go before my boys notice that I've put this stormtrooper in our garden? Like, when it was every day, oh my God, here it is. I've moved it. They haven't found it. Like, and everyone was like sending me messages. Oh my God, have they found the stormtrooper yet? Like, nothing to do with my business, but I had people engaged in it.
Absolutely.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah, I share stuff as well that's just rando, and because I just feel called to do it. So even like my passport photo, you know how many comments and like inboxes I had with people just sending me pictures of their terrible passport photos because I shared that passport photo, and I just couldn't stop laughing at it. So I'm like, I got to share this with people because other people got to laugh at this too because this is horrid. And I got my passport back, and it's even more horrid in the passport. Just FYI. But yeah,
But that
anything and
creates
everything.
connection, and you're
Yeah,
willing to show
exactly.
that vulnerable
Yeah.
side of you and show that silly side of you. And then people see that come through and they're like, oh, she's fun and she's, you know, vibrant, and
Yeah,
they feel that energy just because
Yeah.
the silly something silly you posted.
So good. But yeah, I like that topic too, Charlene. We'll definitely go deeper into that. And Christine's asking if you need to post every day. I don't. So Christine, go and have a look at my social media. I go through periods where I'm just like on fire and I will post like once a day, every day. But honestly, do where your energy is at. If it means that you can only handle one time a week or once every other week, but that's better than not showing up at all, you know. And it doesn't have to be consistent. I even look at people with ginormous following. So an example like Jessica Lynn. Do you follow Jessica Lynn? Yeah. So go and have a look at how consistently she posts. She's also all over the place and she's got a huge following, massive following. And then because I was quite surprised. And then another huge person that I'm like, I love at the moment is Athena Kroll or Athena Bailey. And I was looking at her. I think she's posted since, I don't know, end of March or something. She goes through periods where she posts a lot and then other periods where she doesn't, because we are cyclic beings, right? Like, especially women, we go through like, you know, this natural cycle where we want to hide for usually a week of our lives. And I'm in that right now. So if you check my post right now, I haven't posted for a little bit, and then I'll go through like 3 weeks or more or longer where I'll post like 4 or 5 times a week. But if you can't manage that, don't put, a lot of people put so much pressure on themselves. They have to post every day. And I would definitely say quality over quantity. Like, there's no posting just for the sake of it if you're not feeling it. And people can feel if there's no energy behind that post, you know? So I would just say what you feel driven to do, but also obviously the more that you post, the more people are probably going to see you and the more likely your work is of getting out there. But yeah, if that's going to stop you from putting anything out there at all because you think, overthink ahead and think, I'm already tired thinking about posting every day, then you don't need to. Just start with once and you might end up upping it. So I was posting about 3 to 5 times a week usually, but I worked myself up to that because I didn't have the energetic capacity to do that in the beginning. So yeah, you don't have to. Mark also, so Shannon says you need to post consistently, not necessarily every day. Mark says this is content fatigue. Yes, where people have had too much and tune out. Consistency, like once a week or so, or quality as well. Like if you got
I
something
think
good to
quality.
share. Yeah.
Yeah, the stuff that hits home
share.
with someone is going to be more meaningful than anything else.
Yeah, because I've had times where I wasn't feeling it and I posted and it shows in the post. Like, you can nobody engaging with that. I didn't even want to engage with it. So I just literally don't now unless I'm really feeling it, unless I want to. All right. Did anyone else have any questions or anything else they wanted to share? Or are we all good for tonight? I hope that has helped a little bit. Sam says, what I do is take a bunch of videos and photos with ideas in one go and post it up later on. Yes, batch content. What's that? What it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And recycle, guys.
Yes.
If you've got stuff there, recycle. If you're not 100% feeling into it, but you're like, oh, if you think I should post something, have a look back through your camera, like scroll back through, have a look what's there, recycle stuff.
Yeah. And that's a really good point as well, Sam. I also will have a day where I have got actually, got dressed, and just create a few different scenarios and use those same, like, in front of a computer, pouring something into a kettle, walking outside, sitting, meditating. That's actually all recorded on the same day half the time. And I've just used those little bits and batch created content in batch. So I would, on a Tuesday, I would create for the week. So I might do like 4 or 5 posts, but do them all on a Tuesday and schedule them out. So that saved me a lot of energy, because I would have energy for it on a Tuesday and then schedule it and create it and then not have to worry about it at all, even for the rest of the week. And then I had that set time when I knew my children weren't going to be around, and I could just have laser focus on it and do it then. And I've only recently been able to do that. And I've actually found that's made a huge difference in energy levels, because it's not, for me, it's not leaking every day, trying to post something all over the place. I just have this set few hours where I will create, and then schedule them to go out each day. Reuse in a different format, yes, on other platforms if it is successful, 100%, yes. And ChatGPT also, you can put in, this is my post that I posted and it did really well. Can you rejig this and put it in like a slide content? Or can you make this into a reel instead? Or can you make this into a still post? So you can just change up how you post it. Some of my most successful posts, I posted the same thing 3 times, but then I did once in a reel, once in a slide, and once in like a still content. But it's basically the same like copy, just changed how it was written. So that changes, like that takes out heaps of time there. And just like, obviously don't do it all in the same week.
And even going back 3 months and having a look at what was 3 months ago too, because you can reuse that all over in exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Just take the copy, you can add a different picture, or you can add the same picture. It doesn't really matter, because nobody really goes back that far.
No. Yeah. And you think people are going to know, but no one
remembers 3 months ago.
No, for sure.
3 days ago.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, this has been really great, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. I was going to say ladies and men. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for jumping on. And if anyone has anything that they want to share, like inside the community, or any resources or anything else we spoke about, I think definitely share that, because our knowledge all together has been amazing, right? Like such a great co-creation here. And I hope it is inspired you to get stuff done, or at least, added a little bit more to what it is that you're already doing. I know I've definitely learned things from you guys. So thank you so much for being so engaged. But yeah, and don't forget, if you get stuck at any point, just use the community. That's literally what it's for. If you want feedback, if you want someone to read your copy, I do that all the time. I send it through to Shannon, like Brooke. I'm like, can you read this? Can you tell me what sounds good, what doesn't sound good? Change it up for me. Use what you've got, because and also then run it through your own filter, because sometimes someone says, I think you should you should change this or do that, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe that's a good point, but I don't want to. So like, run it through your own filter as well. Don't forget that. But there's definitely power in numbers. So and it help you with your confidence too. So yes, thank you so much everyone for jumping on. And I will, when's the next one? Is that the animal psychic?
Yep, 29th of April, guys, is our next one, because we thought with Easter and Anzac Day and school holidays and all of those sorts of things, we'd give you guys a bit of a break there, and it'd be a bit harder to jump on. So we've scheduled that for the 29th.
Yeah, unless you're in Psychic School Elite. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on Thursday. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing night. And thanks so much again. See you later.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.